Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to another episode of Disgaearpg on the Hayzink channel. I don't think that's my normal intro, but yeah, welcome back to another Disgaearpg video. So on today's video, if it is not completely apparent, we are going to be talking about the one and only DIEZ, the gunslinger, that is an original creation in Disgaearpg. Yes, there is a gunner class in Disgaearpg, but this guy is not a reskinned gunner. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about DIEZ, let's talk about his kit, let's see how he is as a unit, and you guys can hear if I think he's worth summoning for, and you can also let me know in the comments down below if you think he is worth summoning for. So, before we jump in, if you haven't already, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, commenting down below with your thoughts on today's video, and as always guys, thanks for joining me. So, DIEZ is a hunter of fallen angels who is admittedly bad at acting, but his skills are first rate. So obviously there's a little bit of a correlation there between DIEZ and Lucy. Both of them are bad at their jobs, basically. Bad at part of their jobs anyway. So with DIEZ, he is part of the Knight class. So if you are working on your class system, Knight is what DIEZ is. Now, if it wasn't completely aware from his character design, he is a gun-wielding unit. And I think it's quite important that we have a look at just how good of a gun-wielding unit this man actually is. So we will start off by looking at his abilities, okay? So first of all, his leader skill, or his NE0, is Famed Gunslinger. Damage dealt by gun, bow, fist weapons equipped characters get special moves plus 15%, okay? Now, you'll notice that this is a bit like Lucy, and a bit like Lucy, it's also gun, bow and fist. The reason for that is, I believe next month, we'll get another original creation who is a fist wielding character, so that's why these guys have that skill, because they kind of go together as like a group. You don't exclusively have to use them as a group, obviously, but the three of them can work quite well together. The NE1 on this one is called Icicle Bullet, and it is damage that you inflict with attribute attacks plus 60%. NE5 is called Dual Focus, which is at the start of wave. If there is 2 or more enemies, your action gauge is boosted by 150%. So obviously this guy's going to go quite fast if he's facing multiple enemies. He does already have quite a decent speed rating. His speed's 59, so he is like generally quite a fast unit anyway. But at the start of wave, if there's 2 or more enemies, your action gauge is plus 150%. His NE7 is Quick Draw Lessons. At the end of turn, speed plus 20% for 2 turns of the ally character whose action gauge is the first, okay? So again, he's another one of these characters who's going to be given a passive boost to people depending on where they are on the action gauge. Now, looking at his abilities, he is fairly decent. I think he is fairly decent. He's obviously going to be a speed boosting character, which is good. He is going to give special moves a boost of plus 15%. I have touched on this on other videos, but I'll just mention it again. You will have noticed with buff caps, there's only so far you can take your team with the likes of Mega Braveheart units. So when you've reached that buff cap, you're looking for characters who are out here giving you a boost to the likes of your special attack, your single target damage, all that type of stuff. Those boosts become a lot more important because they don't actually get affected by the buff cap, okay? So for that reason, I think DIEZ is pretty good. Let's go ahead now and talk about his skills, because obviously skills is a vitally important part of a character's kit, and it's what a lot of people will use to decide if they like this character or not. So, skills. His first skill is a low-cost AoE. It's G plus rank power, starting at 25 SP, which you can drop down to 18 through leveling. It's an AoE along with an AoE debuff, and it's a debuff of down by 3%, okay? Now, that obviously does have decent enough damage on it, and it is fairly low cost, so I think that's quite good. The second one he unlocks is his unlocks at level 200, shall I say. It's called Icicle Bullet, and it's a B skill. It starts at 50 SP, dropping down to 39, and it's another single target damage with a single target debuff, okay? And the debuff is down by 10% on the speed of the enemy character, okay? Again, not too bad. And finally, you have got Outlaw Shot. Okay, Outlaw Shot is NE3 and it's S, rank power, 70 SP, dropping down to 58. It's a single target damage and it's also a self buff of attack plus 30%. Now, DIEZ has a different elemental skill attached to each of his skills. So that means that if you have certain characters who are weak against a specific attribute, then DIEZ is going to be quite good for you. With raids in the future, you start to get things like elemental barriers where you have to use a specific element to break that barrier. If you have DIEZ on your team, you pretty much have a jack of all trades because he can hit a type of target damage that will destroy the barrier. So for that, I think his skills are quite good. They're quite versatile. He's got buffs, he's got debuffs, he's doing good damage. So all in all, I would say that that is quite a good set of skills for DIEZ. Now, the other thing that we need to look at in his kit is the thing we always look at round about now. And to be honest, he's kind of starting to fall into a category that most new characters these days that I've been talking about seem to have. You know, I mean, I think that's going to be 3 out of the last 5 or 6 that have got this skill. But let's go ahead and talk about magic spells. First of all, he has got Braveheart at level 4. That's obviously the recurring skill that I'm talking about, or spell. At level 9, he has got Speed Down. At level 15, he has got Shield. At level 22, he's got Mega Braveheart. At level 30, he's got Mega Speed Down. And at level 40, he has got Mega Shield. So you could build this guy quite well, actually, to have him as a bit of a buffer stroke debuffer. If you even just go to level, well, I mean, level 40 is quite far, but if you go to level 40, you can have Mega Braveheart and Mega Shield on this guy, which is going to give you a good buff to your attack. And if you reach the buff cap on something like raids and this guy is still alive, you can then cast Mega Shield, which is going to keep you in the fight a little bit longer. So overall, I really like DIEZ's kit. I think his kit is very decent. So I kind of come to the point where I've got to ask the question, do I think he is worth summoning for? And I think kind of like Lucy, he is worth summoning for, but is he worth summoning for now is 100% dependent on you, okay? Because a lot of you probably went hard on the Beach Girls, you probably went hard on Summer Laharo, you probably went hard on Flawn, and you're starting to feel that your quartz reserves are a little bit drained. And to be honest with this guy, yes, he's very good, but you don't have FOMO with him. You've not got fear of missing out because he is going to be added back into the general platinum pool. So you will likely see this guy on a lot of banners moving forward. He is a character that if you do get, he is very, very good. But if you are low on quartz supplies, I would say possibly skip, because quartz is a finite resource, you know, you're not going to have an unlimited amount and you can't summon on every banner. If you're someone who doesn't have any problem with quartz, then yes, this character is a summon, but if you have more higher priority targets in the future, I would say this guy is a not right now. Yes, I think he's worth summoning for. Do you necessarily need to summon on his initial banner? Possibly not. The only thing, again, like Lucy, his original banner will be the best chance to get the character, only because at step 20 it's got a guarantee on pulling DIEZ. Now, obviously a lot of you guys don't want to go to Pity to pull a unit, so if that was your only option, it might put you off anyway. So if you're in that camp, I'd say just wait, and eventually you'll likely pick this guy up from the general pool. But overall, if I had to say, is he a skip or is he a summon, I would say for the vast majority of people, he's probably a skip for now. But if you can, he is definitely worth summoning for. So a little bit of an inconclusive answer there, to be honest. But the only real reason for that is I don't think it's fair to say a unit as good as DIEZ is a skip, because he is very good, just like Lucy is very good as well. I just think that there's going to be opportunities to get this character down the line. So with the prospect of some good content coming in the following month and month after that, you might have more high priority targets you want to be saving your quartz for. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please let me know in the comments down below. Like the video as well, it really does help the channel out quite a bit, surprisingly. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I will catch you on the next video, dudes. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.